Hey yo bubbles, welcome back to the channel. My name is Caitlin Benson.
I just call it righteous.
Alrighty, welcome back to the channel. This is part 2 of Jack in the Box album review by yours truly. I don't know why I started this part like that, but I did. Anyway, I'm gonna keep it in. We just listened to Equal Sign. So if this is like the first video you're watching and you haven't seen part 1, go watch part 1, okay? I'm gonna have the other 4 songs that we're checking out on this album in that part. The songs we're checking out on this one, we are going to be doing Music Box Reflection. Then we have What If, Safety Zone, and Future, and then that would be all the songs that I haven't heard off this album, because we have heard and we did react to more, and we did react to Arson as well. So I'm super excited for this. So let's continue our journey through Jack in the Box. So with Music Box Reflection. All right, so this is JHOPE Music Box Reflection Visualizer, because there's no like lyrics on Dulcet. So this got sent to me, so I don't know if there's going to be lyrics in this or not. I don't know if they said if there was or not, but regardless, if not, it's good to get the visuals to what he kind of wanted to be for this. So I'm super excited. Let's go, let's check it out, let's do it. Oh my god, that like static sound. Just the music box. Oh, the panning of the breathing. That's literally it. Nope. This also played at Lollapalooza too. Woo! Woo! When that came in. Just the sounds. Oh my god. Oh my god. You know what these are? I think these are like the transitions into what's the next song. You know, obviously in the intro transitions into Pandora's Box really well. And what's after that is What If. And oh my god, I totally forgot Dim Joyce was on here. Dang, that just threw me. Okay, this is about to be good as hell. So so they might be considered like fillers when it comes to the album, but I also think he did a really cool job with how he used these in Lollapalooza in a live setting too. All right, so What If is next, and this is produced by Dim Joyce. I'm very familiar with him. I think he's a great producer. So in the album interview, as he was introducing this track, JHOPE said, "In some sense, the name JHOPE is what made me who I am. As Jungkook, who doesn't have anything, what I have been still able to tell stories that I can tell as JHOPE. Isn't it extremely arrogant to think that I would have been able to do so even if I had nothing? I've been thinking about this constantly." Interesting. Okay, what if? Ooh, the question of what if I wasn't the JHOPE that everyone knows me of today? Would I still be able to tell these stories that I'm telling now if people didn't even know my name, who I was? Interesting. Okay, all right, let's go. Hey, I love the piano right there.
수십 번 내게 질문을 해. Am I really like that? 희망 긍정들 오는 얼굴의 상태 기절할 수 있는 부분이라고 생각했어. So my music, my speech, my feel, I made it myself. 의문이 들어 JHOPE에게 물어. 너라면 네가 말한 부분들을 지킬 수 있어. 하지만 내 자의가 아닌 무서운 환경으로 탄생한 나. 당당히 비춘 너의 persona. Hold up.
Oh yeah, I remember this. Woo! Oh, come on. Woo! Ooh, is this like a conversation? Woo!
운명의 분위가 좋은 사람들의 following까지 난 자신을 사랑하고 희망을 가지라는 거 저 모든 게 박탈이 되고 밑바닥에도 말할 수 있을까 너 Hold up
Woo! Whoa! Whoa! There's so much to unpack there. Okay, we're gonna get to that. Hey! What if I had no dream? What if I had no passion? Woo!
What if I had no vision? And what if I had no money?
Ooh!
What if I had no house?
Ooh!
What if
He asking the questions.
I had no car?
Period.
What if
JHOPE.
I have nothing? Can I do that shit?
This boy, oh my god. Oh, okay, wait. Wow. Okay, we need to talk. Tens of times I ask myself, am I really like that? And what he means by that is he really someone that has hope all the time, that is always positive, that's always smiling. You know what I mean? Like, is he really, like he asked himself, is he really like that? You know, is that really him? And then it continues, I just thought these were things that I could do. So instead of being like, this is who I am, these are things that I can do. So my music and my speech and my feel, I made it myself. So it's like he's saying I made myself in this image of this like hope pillar for people, of this positivity for people. I made that kind of be myself, but is that me? Is that really me? You know? And I love that because think about this, y'all. This is so good when it comes to the structure of this album. Right before What If, there was the music box reflection, right? He is literally reflecting in this song, and he's reflecting and going, am I who I am projecting myself to be, you know? And I love that seamless flow there within the album and how that connected to each other. Oh my god, I love that. That's freaking dope as hell. Oh my god, Hobie, genius. If I were you, would you be able to keep those words you say? Perhaps it was not my own will, but those countless environmental factors that birthed me. And we talked about those in Stop, right? We talked about those environmental factors, you know, our past traumas that, you know, do shape us to be who we are. They proudly shine a light on your persona. Oh my god, I freaking love that too. Oh my god. I love here when he kind of starts to have a conversation with himself. You know, he's talking to the JHOPE that we all know. Technically not even the real him, you know what I mean? This is something that he's created, you know? The real him's asking himself, like, if I were you, would you be able to keep the things that you're like, would you able to actually do the things that you're talking about? You know, and then he says, perhaps it's not my own will. Like, perhaps like the reason why is of my environment. Maybe at the time, JHOPE just felt like there needed to be some sort of like, you know, when he talks about how like he became the hope of BTS. I guess he felt like that was the role that he was going to have in the environment that he was in. And then he goes, hold up, can I do this? Let me think. Can I do it? Even in this case, what if? What if I have no hope? What if I have no dream? What a no dream reference? Stop playing with me. What if I have no passion? What if I have no vision? These are all questions he's asking himself. And then we heard in the note earlier of like, what if I didn't have those things? What does that make me? Who does that make me? And am I important enough to talk about these things without those, you know? And then this part says, how you doing, bro? And I feel like when I heard that, I was like, is he having a conversation with someone? And maybe he's having a conversation with himself again. It looks like you're living a comfortable life these days, being all fancied up. And maybe this is his past self talking to his future self. I don't know exactly. I'm just kind of going how I interpreted this, and you know, music is up for interpretation. Challenges and trials, what would they even mean to you? Because you've only climbed stairs that are intact and sturdy. It's fair that you might not know what they mean. In reality, you have it all now. Money, fame, wealth, and the following of people who like you. Love yourself and have hope. Yeah, I think he's talking to himself. Even if you had all those things taken from you and found yourself at rock bottom, would you still be able to say such words. And you know what's crazy about this right here? You know what's crazy about this? I feel like this is his past self talking to his future self. And then up here, what we just read earlier, I feel like this is his future self talking to his past self. Are you guys seeing what are you guys seeing where I'm trying to, this is mind blowing. My mind right now. JHOPE is killing me. That's insane. Like that, the storytelling and the just songwriting in that, it's like he's questioning both parts of himself and going and calling it out. You know, his past self is looking at him and like, you're big now. You have a following now. You have money. You have fame. You have people who like you. And then he says in quotes, love yourself and have hope. But even if these things were taken away from you and you were back to where you were before any of it, would you still be preaching those words? That is the question he's asking himself. Hold up. And then it goes back, hold up, you know, and then we repeat the chorus. But this last bit right here is so strong here. And I want to read that because it's so good. And he says, what if I have no money? What if I have no house? What if I have no car? What if I have nothing? And I love in the production when he says nothing, all the music completely stops. Like there's no music anymore. There's nothing. And then he asked his last question, can I do that shit? Like, can I do it? I think I see sometimes, and I'm thinking of mainly Western celebrities when I think of this, is that we see grow to a level of fame and they kind of lose themselves. Like when I see people that I used to be huge fans of, and this isn't everyone, by the way. I mean, not all celebrities are like this. You'll see them, especially the ones that, you know, got famous really young and didn't have much of a childhood. They have experienced this fame and wealth that none of us are going to experience, you know. And they get to this level where they forget where they came from. And I think that's a dangerous place to be, because if you forget where you came from and you're not reminded of who you were before anyone knew your name, then who are you ultimately being? You know, who really are you? Because in a way, every single person that is even an influencer or even like a famous artist, they are projecting a version of themselves, whether they want to or not. Now, this projection doesn't have to be a negative one. Like it just could be something that, like, it could be still a version of you that is true and genuine to who you are, but it's still not all of you. Like, you know what I mean? And so I love that JHOPE is asking these questions, because I think he realizes that at this point in time, with the fame that he has, he's really asking those questions, those important questions, and going, who am I on and off the stage, and are they the same person? And I think the fact that he's even asking those questions just goes to show you of how like humble he really is, and where his mindset really is. So once again, I'm freaking floored by the songwriting in this. Like, his lyrics are insane, and this is crazy. All right, let's move on to Safety Zone. Dude, I remember this. Like, he incorporated Blue Side into Safety Zone. And that, like, I almost cried, because Blue Side is such a beautiful song and such a beautiful side of Hobie too, that he showed. And when I saw that, I was, oh my god. Okay, let's go. There's no note with this one, but we got P Dog on this. I think this is the first time I've seen him on here, I think. But yeah, written by JHOPE and P Dog and produced by P Dog. All right, let's get it. He brought us to church with this one. Damn.
내 20대를 바치며 무궁무진한 삶을 살고 있어. 다 보란 듯 응답하지만 날 돌아보란 듯 커지는 이명. 세상은 빠르게 변하고 그 순간 다르게 외로워. 괴로워. 아무는 없듯 내 삶이 적적해져가. Oh my gosh. 마음 맞춰 살아가지만 삐걱달에서 나를 위해 외치는 듯해. Break a leg in my zone. 도심 속 잘 맞춰 사람도 만나지만 교통 정리가 안 된 차들처럼 이리 치고 저리 치곤 해. 나 왜 없는데 어디 가면 있는데 게임 맞춰 잘 보면 안전지대가 있던데. 그래 의미 없이 팔만 불지. 이가 마치 깡통 bullshit 나도 가고 싶은데 Where is the mind 내 심리 속에서도 있기는 한 걸까 그 누군가는 나에게 아낌없이 줬을 터인데 잠시 돌이켜보기 위한 내 구루터기는 어딨나 어둠 속 안도의 한 줄기 빛은 어딜까 떠오르는 home 아니면 점은 블루이가 Where's my safe joint 왼쪽 오른쪽 go straight What's my safe joint 이거 저거 or X 어둠 속 안도의 한 줄기 빛은 어딜까 떠오르는 home 아니면 점은 블루이가 Where's my safe joint 왼쪽 오른쪽 go straight What's my safe joint 이거 저거 or X
Oh, I love that panning there.
날 이끈 people 잘 생각해보면 두려워 길은 없는 사람도 털어놓을 수 없는 사명감 요즘은 사람보다 동물이 좋더라고 느껴 자멸감 임종을 앞둔 노을 같아 밤과 새벽을 달래준 light Where's the dawn 근제도 피가는 night green zone But 이 길을 선택하는 순간 있기는 할까 나의 safe joint 어둠 속 안도의 한 줄기 빛은 어딜까
Beautiful production here.
Where's my safe joint 왼쪽 오른쪽 go straight What's my safe joint 이거 저거 or X 어둠 속 안도의 한 줄기 빛은 어딜까 오지막한 home 아니면
just the vocals in the back.
Where's my safe joint 왼쪽 오른쪽 go straight What's my safe joint 이거 저거 or X
Who is this?
Tell me if you know where's my safe zone.
Take us to church. Come on. Beautiful.
Where's my safe zone? Where's my safe zone?
Wow. Wow, that was beautiful. Oh, I like that one. I really like Safety Zone. Okay, let's talk. This album is incredible. Dedicating my 20s, and I'm living an unmeasurable life as if it's for everyone to look at. I respond, but as if it's telling me I should look back into myself. The ringing in my ears become louder. The world changes fast, and at every moment, a different feeling of loneliness hits me. Wow. That line. I love that. It's painful. My life gets lonesome. There's a note here. This means enemy and means to feel empty and alone. So alternatively, this line means my life gets filled with enemy after enemy. Living by keeping pace, but it creaks. Wow, that line's beautiful. It's as if I'm forcing myself to shout for myself, break a leg. In my zone, I keep pace with the busy city and even meet people, but like those cars stuck with no traffic control, I'd get pushed and hit left and right. Why is it that I don't have one? Where should I go to find one? And I believe he's talking about like safety zone. Even in games, when you look around closely, you'll find a safe zone. It's like a tin can, and then the note says tin can is like a slang term for the cheapest entry models of luxury car brands, all looks and no substance. Just kind of like this life is like all looks sometimes and no substance, you know? I also want to go, but where is that mindset? Does such a place even exist in my mind as well? I too must have had someone who was my giving tree, but where's the stump for me to sit on and look back for a moment? And in reference, the giving tree is the Korean title of the book, a literal translation which is a tree that gives unsparingly. This hits differently because Hobie is always that hope for us, right? And that strength for us, but he is asking like who gives that strength to me? Where can I find my safety zone? Like we find safety in Hobie and in BTS, but where can they find safety? Where can they find hope and strength? Like that's I think where he's asking, because like that can be draining being that for everyone else, but not getting that either. You like, you know what I mean? Where is the ray of light to relieve me in the darkness, right? Or is it the blue that is far, far away? And then home. This is a peaceful space of mine. Yeah, I remember the time when I used to feel I could do everything, which is a reference to Blue Side. Inside my heart confronting me now. My safe zone. Left, right, go straight. What's my safe zone? It's like he's trying to find a direction to go. Like where does he go? Here, there, or X. And then it kind of repeats there. And then we move on to another verse. The cheers of people who believe in me, but it'll feel cold when even they turn their back on me. You know, I read a tweet one day by another reactor, and if you see my my Twitter, you would know, but they tweeted something along the lines of, it's crazy how the moment you don't react to something that someone else likes, or you do something wrong in their eyes, it's crazy how quick they drop you. And they went on to say, both scary and disheartening. These people who claim to support you, but just like that, they're gone. Their support is no longer there. And I'm sure the real people will stay. You know, the real people will stay. But that is such a real thing, you know? The people who've led me, but thinking carefully, I feel afraid. Even with someone who shares blood, there's a sense of mission that I can't share. These days, I tend to like animals over humans, but I feel a sense of self-despise. I hope he's really laying it all out here. Wow. I can understand when he says, these days I tend to like animals over humans, because I cannot tell you how frustrating humans are. I literally am like, some days I'm like, I cannot stand people. Just people. I can't stand them. What I love in this part right here is he's really talking about how lonely he is. Like how lonely he feels, like especially when he says, even with someone with his own blood, you know, there's still things that he feels like he can't really share and get like that relation to, like, you know what I mean, like someone who gets it, you know. It's like a sunset about to draw its last breath. Shine goes dark, a light to comfort night and day, right for mine. What's that zone? My green zone that even big disasters find a way around. Reference green zone, which used to be known as the safest area of I do not know how to pronounce that. But the moment I choose this path, will it even exist? My safe zone. And then he goes to repeat, which I believe is the chorus there. So I feel like in these last two songs that we checked out, it really does feel like J-Hope is really reflecting on who he is and where he wants to go, you know? Because I feel like in like between the songs What If and Safety Zone, he was asking a lot of questions like, what if I have no money? What if I have no car? And then in Safety Zone, he's asking like, where's my safety zone? Where do I go? You know? And I think it's also important to remember that just because we see these idols or these celebrities that may have, you know, a lot of money, a lot of fame, they're still going through very real things that you and I go through, and they're no different to those feelings either. And if anything, those feelings might even be heightened even more than what you and I feel, you know? And I think what's kind of sad maybe at the end of this song is that I don't even know if he even knows, I don't even know if he has the answer to that. Like, I don't know if he knows where his safe zone is, but I know he's trying to find it. All right, we have one more song off this album that we haven't heard in its future, and I really like the title of that, for that to be like a song towards the end of this album. So there's so many possibilities that the future holds, and hopefully it is positive ones. All right, let's check it out.
Always
I needed to when I said I do.
Wow.
then 긍정의 rhythm
Yes.
Always I needed to
Woo!
when I said I do.
미래를 걷는 희망의 girl
Beautiful.
I was 그래 난 그냥 도박이었잖아
Yeah.
I was 춤만 좋아하는 아이였잖아
Yes.
다워 삶에 대해 감사하는
Yes.
다워 지금 가장 걱정하고
I love the repeating there.
늘 스스로 주체가 되어 싸워 결국 내 맘은 몸투성이잖아 평소에 다른 옷 입대 try on 좋아하는 운전처럼 한번 순리대로 봐버려 야외도겠어 왜 움직이겠어 결국 변화하고 영원한 건 없잖아
Yes.
We know I know 강을 거슬러 오르는 연어가 될 수 없는 I needed to
When I said I do.
용기와 믿음
Freaking love him.
긍정의 rhythm
Beautiful vocals too. Are you kidding me?
When I said I do 미래를 걷는
Oh, this reminds me of.
그전에 스스로 정할 style
Whoa. Okay, I'll come back to it.
다가올수록 무섭기도 홀로 버티기도 버거운 것
Future.
Man, you must go with the flow 그저 흐르는 대로 가보자고 필요해 보여 나에게도 용기와 믿음으로 희망의 걸
Hey. Beautiful. Yes. One more time.
그전에 스스로 정할 수 단정할 수 없는 것
stripped it out.
무섭기도 헐러버티기도 버거운 걸
Future.
Man, you must go with the flow 흐르는 대로 가보자고
Future.
필요해 보여 나에게도 용기와 믿음으로 희망의 골 Future
Why are these so freaking short? Oh my god. Okay, this reminds me of equal sign in the structure, because like in equal sign he would say like same, and then he would say a line, and then he would say this, and then he repeats same. So when it said future and then he would say a line and it would say future, that reminded me of that structure wise. Anyway, sorry, let's go back. This is beautiful. You know, also too, I noticed is that this album, I don't want to say it's dark, but the sound is like grittier and you know, obviously not as bright, you know, but I think this song sounded the most hopeful out of all of them, and it makes sense as to why it would, because it's titled Future. We're talking about the future, and also in the lyrics too. So it says, always I needed to when I said I do, courage and faith, the rhythm of positivity. Always I needed to when I said I do, walking the future, my steps of hope. I was just in this, and I knew that reminded me of something in this, and it was Airplane. I was like, that literally reminds me of something. I was just a kid who only loved dancing. And then note here, it says path my steps, head to soul. I who started out just because of the love for dance, now stand on stage. Like, look at JHOPE now. Oh, he was just a boy who loved dancing, and look at him now. This is who I am. Being thankful for the life that's given to me. Which is another reference to Hope World, a life of appreciation for what's given, a life created by anticipation of life. This is who I am. It now feels most proper and most me. I feel like we went through a journey with this album. You know, we opened up Pandora's Box, we got introduced to all these things, and then once Music Box Reflection hit, I feel like we started reflecting a lot more, and I think we arrived somewhere in Future where I think he realized, you know, all those questions that he was asking and What If and Safety Zone, you know, he doesn't necessarily need to know all the answers to them, but, you know, realizing like who he is, where he's come from, being thankful for that. I feel like that's like enough, you know. I always lead the fight as my own boss. In the end, my heart is covered in bruises. Oh my god. Like how I put on different clothes, try on. I go with the flow, stepping on the accelerator. Why would it be that my blood circulates? Why would it move? Everything eventually changes, and there's nothing that lasts forever. You know, we know, I know. That kind of reminds me of more where he's like inhale, exhale. You know that flow there. I love that. And then he repeats that. And then this last part, future. It's not something that I alone can decide or assume about. Future is something that can be scary as it gets closer, something that is beyond my own capacity to hold out against. And you just gotta go with the flow. Let's just go with the flow. Future, it looks like I would too, needed with courage and faith. I bet hope on the future. Yeah, I mean, when he says here, it's not something that I alone can decide or assume about. He doesn't have any control what the future is going to be. But I think this realization of who he is, where he's come from, you know, what he has, and choosing to have faith and courage and to bet and to hope on the future is enough for him. And I think that was such a beautiful message, because I think the future for all of us is bright. You know, we don't know what it holds, but I think just like the endless possibilities of that is what is so beautiful. You know, this kind of album, this album is the kind of album where you walk into feeling a certain way and you walk out of changed for the better. It's like J-Hope shapes you and pulls you one way and pulls you another way, and then lands you in a place where you're like, oh my gosh, you know, you're like, oh my gosh. That's how I felt listening to this album. And he talked about topics that need to be talked about. He was vulnerable in ways that I feel like he hasn't fully showcased yet until this. And I'm so proud of him, because now I need to go rewatch Lollapalooza, rewatch it, and I guarantee you, I mean, I was already crying during Lollapalooza anyway, but I'm gonna rewatch it after this, and I know I'm gonna get so emotional, because this man left everything on that stage, including the message from this album on there. And I know people left Lollapalooza being like, wow, my outlook on life, my perspective has changed. Even if it's just a little bit, because there's always hope for that, right? I think my favorite song is Equal Sign. I think Safety Zone, second favorite, and then I think Future, and then it goes What If, and then Pandora's Box, and then More, and then Arson maybe. I'm not really counting the intro and the music box Reflection because they're not technically songs, so I feel like I'm leaving this album with like a different perspective. And I think honestly the song that I feel like left the biggest impression on me though was Stop, because it really made me try to think of others than myself, because it's so easy for me to feel wronged on things. Like, I don't know, like instead of it just really made me think, instead of jumping to conclusions, really try to get to know other people and where they come from, or try to understand them as best as possible, because we just really don't try. We don't care. We don't do it, you know? And I wonder like what the outcome would actually be if we did, you know? Anyway, that's gonna be it for me. I hope you guys enjoy this reaction. Let me know your thoughts down below. Thank you once again for just being patient and letting me get to this on my own pace. Like I always said, the music is always gonna be there. I mean, I didn't get to this right away, but the whole album was here waiting for me. Also, he has a song coming out with someone named Crush. I don't know who that is. But he's on that, and there's also a song that RM came out with, so I probably will put those together. But just know, if this gets released before those do, I'm going to react to them. And just because you don't see it right away doesn't mean it's not going to be there, and doesn't mean that I'm not going to react to it. I don't really like the pressure that I sometimes feel when something drops and everyone like goes on all my videos and goes, where is this reaction? I'm like, it just dropped not that long ago. Give me a second. I like to just take my time and actually get to a point where I'm like mentally there and I can enjoy it, you know? Because there are days when like I don't feel it, y'all. There are days when I'm like, the last thing I want to do right now is like react, you know? I love what I do, but also being real, like I don't have a desire to do this every single day of like the week, you know? I also have a life. I'm in school full time. I have homework to do. So I can't do everything as fast as people want me to. But just like I got to this, I'll get to that. Okay, I'll try to get to that as fast as I can, meaning that in my own pace, and not how fast everyone else wants me to get to it. But I will get to it. At the end of the day, I need to make sure my homework is done, because that's what matters most, honestly. So, all right, let me know your thoughts down below. What are your top 3? How do you feel about this album? But on that note, I will see y'all on the next one.
Looking at me and I'm looking at you. Looking at us and I'm thinking that we got something good, and I know that there's nothing that's coming between us. No, nothing at all. And they can call it love and whatever they want, but I call it right.